The Great Pyramid of Giza is the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, still standing, and the oldest. These before and after images show what these ancient wonders might look like today if they had survived the centuries. Researchers gathered information about each wonder, and architectural designers created 3D renderings with their present-day setting as a backdrop. These reconstructions help us appreciate the history and splendor of these ancient marvels. Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes was a 32-meter bronze statue built on top of 2 15-meter-tall pedestals at the harbor of Rhodes in commemoration of the Siege of Rhodes, 305,304 BCE. By some accounts, the statue actually stood astride the harbor so ships could sail between his legs, although most historians now argue that this was actually a myth propagated in the Middle Ages. It finally met its fate thanks to the 226 BCE Rhodes earthquake. Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon is one of the most mysterious of the wonders, since no one is certain where they once stood. There are no Babylonian texts that mention the gardens, nor any definitive archaeological evidence. This had led some to argue they were just the figment of an ancient travel writer's imagination. However, others suggest it might have been found somewhere in present-day Iraq, and once featured a series of garden-covered stone terraces designed to imitate mountains. Great Pyramid of Giza. Over 4,500 years on, this structure remains one of the world's greatest sights. After construction finished around 2560 BCE, the Great Pyramid was the tallest human-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years until the completion of Lincoln Cathedral in 1311 CE. The monument still inspires wonder today, existing more or less in its original form, just as it stood in 2560 BCE. Lighthouse of Alexandria. Built sometime between 284 and 246 BCE, ruins of the lighthouse were first discovered in 1904 in Alexandria's eastern harbor in Egypt. Estimates vary, but it might have been as tall as 135 meters, meaning it was also one of the tallest human-made structures in the world for centuries. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was a tomb built for Mausolus, the governor of the province for the First Persian Empire, so fancy it gave us the word mausoleum. Influenced by Greek, Near Eastern, and Egyptian architecture, the Grand Mausoleum was eventually reduced to rubble thanks to successive earthquakes from the 12th to the 15th century. Statue of Zeus at Olympia. Is there anything more epic than the thought of a 13-meter gold and ivory-plated statue of Zeus? The colossal statue was erected at the Temple of Zeus by the Hellens, who were best known for starting the Olympic Games in the latter half of the 5th century BCE. By 426 CE, the statue and temple perished in a fire. Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was built and destroyed 3 times over a period of 7 centuries. In its first destruction, it was burnt down by Herostratus, an arsonist who sought notoriety by destroying the Temple of Artemis. It was then reconstructed, only to be destroyed by the Goths during a raid of the city. It was then destroyed for the final time by Christians, who built nothing but foundations and a single column, which can still be seen today.